to getting the process right has always been my biggest frustration. And I'm a high-end creative, ADHD, all those kind of things. So I'm not a guy who likes to actually run down a straight line.
Are you diagnosed?
No. Well,
you're like me.
Yeah,
I know I'd be diagnosed. I went and got tested, but
yeah. I've been told plenty of times by professionals, but never actually had the diagnostic run.
Sorry to cut you off before you get into this, but I find this very interesting because I believe there's a few types of people that deal with this in different ways. So, number one, you think you've got it, you get diagnosed, you start taking medication.
Yeah, no.
My preferred way of dealing with it is I believe I use it to my advantage. That's what adds my flair, my creativity. I manage it, and it's got me to where I am.
I'm 100% with you. I'm dyslexic as well.
Yep.
So reading and writing is not my high-end skill.
Mate, we're going to get on like a house on fire.
Communication verbally is much higher.
Yeah.
But ADHD is just like strapping a turbocharger on an already, spinning engine. If you can focus it, you can achieve incredible things with it. And it takes effort every day to focus it.
Yeah.
But with it, as I say, it's like being able to throw a turbocharger on. You can energize most people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that could be incredibly creative, but they depress it with drugs and medication and stuff. Like there's other ways.
We just use scotch. No.
Well, I'm not a big scotch drinker. I like me bourbon, but this is tasting all right.
Tastes all right. I'm like you. I go, look at how you would manage it if you didn't have drugs. And I'm not saying anything against the medical industry. Drugs are one solution, but, we were talking earlier about ice baths and, saunas and doing self-management, mindset, body management, those kinds of things. If you haven't given all those things a go as a way of managing it, and like ADHD is often managed not easily, managed with exercise because fidget spinners and things.
Yeah.
This thing here keeps this busy. It's like you can't stop shaking your foot because you've got the energy going. But if you stop shaking your foot, then you lose that focus.
Yeah.
So this rhythm of something happening gives you the ability to keep pouring forward.
Mate, I love it.
Mate,
I love it.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like everyone treats it negatively. Like it's a gift.
It's a gift.
Use
Harness it. Yep.
Like it's a power. Like it's a superpower.
Yep. I'm 100%. Same with dyslexia.
Yeah.
I did a talk for, it's like Ignite, which is anyway, like Ignite speeches.
Yep.
And I did it on the gift of dyslexia. And a lot of people were like, oh, you poor thing. I'm like, hell no. This is what's given me all the energy to come this far.
Mate, I wish I had have had this mindset a long time ago, because with this, like I know I've got that as well. And I think for such a long time, and I don't know if it's society or the way we're brought up or schools or whatever, there's this one size fits all things. Like I was going down the path of it's me, like there's something wrong with me, like, whereas I should have been being a bit more open-minded about it and using it to my advantage. But and I'm quite open about it now. Like I put it out there all over my socials. Like I don't read, I listen to Audible. Like,
yep.
And I can't spell to save my life, but it doesn't mean I've managed to get to where I am and be very successful.
Just doing what you do.
Doing what I do.
And managing it. Like, again, it's...
everybody's different.
Yeah.
Like
you think of anything that happens in life, for the first time, it's custom. And you've got to manage that situation. And whether it works or not, how successfully it works is going to be the learning of when you do it again and again and again. So once we've learnt to drive the car, we do it on automatic, But the first time, we were just like everybody else, absolutely uptight about it. So being dyslexic or being ADHD and harnessing it as a gift is a management skill. And it's a thing that you can use as a platform of knowing that you can find your way. Like being dyslexic, I think it's like less than 1 in 10 people are dyslexic, and there's various different strains of how they see the world. But that means that 1 in every 10 is going to be thinking very differently from the other people in the room. And I've always worked in the creative industry. I've always designed something. And I'd be sitting in big meetings and stuff, And people would say, this in corporate world, would say, oh, well, Adrian, he's that uber creative guy. What's he got to say? I'd be, I don't think I'm creative. I'm having trouble keeping up with the conversation. But I'm not hearing it the way they're hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it the way they're seeing it.
Yeah.
And so they think I'm creative because I can't see what they can see. They think I can see that and I can add this. It's bullshit. I can just add this because I can't see what they can see.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the part that unlocks all their thinking at the same time. And then we get to really move.
Yeah. Mate, that's powerful. Like, what a fucking good start to the podcast. We're off topic. We haven't talked about your process yet, but
better get on to dyslexia.
Oh, mate, it is. It's a superpower, and you got to. I don't know. We could go on all night about that. I don't agree with a lot of things that are happening in the world at the moment, but you've got to understand who you are. Like, I'm actually glad we've gone this way because I think it's a powerful thing, and it'll help a lot of people that listen. Like, just because you're born into a certain family does not mean, and you're brought up a certain way, and you're taught certain things, and you're told you're a certain thing, or you've got a certain something, does not mean that's who you are. Like, I think the most powerful thing they could ever teach in school is find yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
but people are struggling to do that most of their lives.
Yeah.
And I certainly have struggled with it in my life. Like, who should I be versus who am I?
Yeah.
And, you know, even in growing up, like the family expectation, the teacher expectation. My teachers just expected me to be a little shit.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the end of the world. Once they got the expectation, I fulfilled it, and we just went on a merry path. But, you know, like even like working in corporates and things like that, I would rely on my ability to see things differently and my creative power to either help them or undo them, one or the other, just depended on where my mood was at. And I spent a lot of years angry at the rest of the world because it didn't allow for me, because it was saying that I was the broken cog. And that took me a lot to get to being comfortable with being a cog that spun differently from the others.
Mate, I think you've just answered the first, like, why I'm where I am now. Like, I was exactly the same. Like, I was so angry and frustrated with, I was blaming everyone for everything that was happening to me. And in the end of the day, I just had to find who I was. Yeah.
And then there's nobody to blame. It's just, And then when you turn the table, I heard this the other day. Somebody was saying, instead of saying, I have to go to work today, I have to go and record this podcast, I have to go and see that client, I have to, you know, pick up the washing or whatever it is, say, I get to go to work today. There's a privilege.
Yeah.
I get to record a podcast. I get to do the washing.
I get to pick up the kids.
100%.
Like, I get
How
to meet
about
a
getting
new
the responsibility? I get to, because it's me. And finding the gratitude and the fact that I can do all those things. There's plenty of people who can't. And there's plenty of people who could, but can't because of their mindset. And I go, man, every time I'm like below the line behavior, you know, for looking for the excuse and all the rest, I go, whoa. What am I getting to do to elevate that? But it's a daily struggle.
Mate, I'm hearing you. And I put it out there on my socials now. I'm quite open with it. Like, I quite often will do a story, say that it's been, like, I call them my demons. Like, every day I have to convince myself of something that I think I'm maybe not good enough to be doing, or I shouldn't be doing, or whatever the case may be. But, mate, we could end this podcast now. It's already been bloody heap of value.
Cut, we'll start a new one.